in Dallas, Texas. Super excited because I'm doing my first, live podcast, but it's not going to be live. You're going to see it, of course, after it's done, because I don't like to show you my guest until the Wednesday, because that's a part of the suspense. So we're headed to Dallas. It's an urban area. I'm going to be interviewing an entrepreneur that I met at the For Visionaries Only conference. She's beautiful. She's an amazing woman, a woman of God as well. And I just enjoy meeting so many people. She doing her thing when it comes to real estate, and I'm gonna enjoy vlogging the process, as well as actually recording us in the midst of the interview. So you'll be able to catch it, I think, on the second Wednesday of January. I want to say it's the second Wednesday. Yeah, second Wednesday of January. So you guys, thanks for following me. Thanks for being on this Walk by Faith journey with me. Okay, if y'all think I should move to Dallas, let me know below in the comments if I should be a Dallas resident, because I like the chicken here. That's a big selling point. I can't get this chicken in New York. Let me tell y'all, I'm skinty because ain't no food up there. It is, but it's all gluten-free, fat-free, dairy-free, it's free of fat, it's free of everything. I'm begging for gluten. I'm like, Lord, can I have some gluten? Please, Lord. I need some food. My body, I was raised off the stuff you're not supposed to eat. Now I'm not eating it. I can't put no weight on. But you know, I'm keeping my good genes until the Lord says that it's time to work out consistently. So I'm not gonna be mad about that. But again, I hope y'all having a great day, and stay tuned for this episode. Okay. Yes, let's see this.
I was trying to get my little brother and sister to come too.
Okay.
And they were down yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I text them like at 11:30. I'm like, hey guys, you know, have your mom bring you to the office if you still want to come. They were like, no, we don't want to. They're 11 and 13.
My sister the same way. I be like, Jada, we got $1 million coming.
Exactly.
I win. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 43rd episode on the Walk by Faith show. As you know, I love to bring people in from all different walks of life, whether they be career, they're musicians, they like real estate, or guess what? They're just like you and I. They're someone of color, but they're going and they're making moves in their community. So I met this wonderful woman in Atlanta, Georgia. And right now today, we're actually able to complete a live podcast, but it won't be released until the second Wednesday of January. But I want to just tell you a little bit about her, okay? So she is a broker, a property manager. She's a certified residential leasing specialist. She's a certified Texas residential property manager. She is a designated broker with King Realty Management. I met Courtney at the For Visionaries conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm so glad that we got the opportunity to not only have her on the show, but to interview her in person at her business location. She loves creating strategies involving all things real estate. She loves to help individuals add value to their homes and their rental properties. She also helps investors increase their ROI through creative strategies. She operates on proven principles of investing, which she's seen proven success not only in her portfolio, but also in the portfolios of her clients. She's an investor. Again, she's a real estate broker, and she's serving the Dallas-Fort Worth and Houston metropolitan areas. So she was born in Portland, Oregon at a young age. You know, like, I don't know how she got to Dallas, Texas, but y'all, she here from Portland, Oregon. And she has so many accolades, but I don't want to take all of that from her. I just want you all to know that you now have a friend in Dallas, Texas that came from Portland, Oregon, who is in the real estate business. So, Courtney, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. If I could have you describe me like that, like once a week, I feel like I would just like own my week and just walk into it so encouraged.
You know, I'm actually thinking about every time, you know, have a weekly call, just saying, hey everybody, let's get pumped for the week. And
that's what you do.
Know, call your name out and say, you know what, King Realty and Management, Courtney, we got Coco Chanel, we got King the franchise, and anybody that I've had on the podcast, and I'm just like, I start off the day with you guys because you all give me so much life and energy.
Thank you so much for having me. Like,
yes.
This is my first podcast, yes. And I'm just super pumped to share my experiences with you and your audience, and hopefully empower those that are interested in real estate and investing and everything in between.
Yes, and y'all, she gonna do just that, okay? Because anybody that's on the podcast, they doing something with their life, and they gonna get your life straight. So if you're listening, I need you guys to go and check out Courtney on her Instagram immediately. But let's start with an icebreaker.
Okay.
Now, my icebreakers, they can be very random. I want to know 3 different ways that you can get scammed in the real estate industry.
Ooh, this is a big one. And I like that you asked that question. Number 1, and this is the oldest scam in the book.
Yeah.
Those people that claim that they're owners of a property and they say, oh, you know what, I'm out of the country, I'm on mission work overseas, and just go ahead and wire that money to me. Number 1 scam in real estate, whether you're buying a home, whether you're renting a home, like that's for sure one of the scams.
Yes.
Another scam that just came to mind is there's a lot of people out there that want to be real estate investors, right? And especially, I mean, you being here in Dallas, every couple of minutes on the radio, you're hearing these things. Hey, come to our seminar, 0 money down, let's invest in real estate. And I'm not going to knock any of them because I actually personally haven't been to those, but you pay thousands and thousands. I had one person that I connected with that paid $40,000 out of their retirement account.
Are you serious?
To go to one of these seminars and didn't buy a single property because it's not necessary. And so that's what I really want to break down today, a little bit of these principles. You don't have to drain your retirement account to learn how to invest in real estate. So that's a second scam that is pretty big. I'm trying to think of a third one. Those are kind of 2 of the most common.
I don't think you should be touching your retirement account until you retire. That's some words to the wise out here. I don't know if I'm speaking to anybody, but what's the third scam?
Gosh, the third scam is this actually comes from one of my subcontractors that I use.
Okay.
He came across a really good investment deal. And he's like, Courtney, this is really good. I really want to buy this property. And I said, great. I said, I will help you. And I won't even charge you anything. I just want to make sure that you do it the right way.
Yeah.
Well, he felt so pressured to get the deal done that he thought he was buying this property. He gave, $50,000. And the person that sold him the property was not the rightful owner, and he didn't do it through a title company. He used a notary.
Okay. Wow.
So, yeah, he bought this property, but this property had $40,000 worth of back taxes owed.
Wow.
So for him, it was this pressure to get it done, and he broke the principles of investing and bought this house without going the proper way, like using a title company and stuff like that, which we can talk more about.
Yeah, I mean,
it's serious, and that's actually pretty common, and it's sad to say that. And that was my own subcontractor. Like, he's been with me for years, and I told him don't do it, don't sign any paperwork until I review it.
And he did it anyway. So if you have a friend that says don't sign no paperwork, don't sign the paperwork. Don't be signing nothing. On top of that, when you're dealing with lump sums of over $10 in our community, please have your friend check it.
Wisdom.
Have some wisdom.
Yes.
Some people know, and I feel like in our community we don't value other people's expertise. We will watch you make money in whatever area, but say, oh, well, she doesn't know, she doesn't have my best interest at heart, and we may want to go and get advice from somebody that's not a color or somebody that we don't even know because we trust them because maybe that's the right way to go. But again, she just broke down that you should have wisdom in whatever you're going through. So Courtney, you're from Portland, Oregon. How did you find your way to Dallas, Texas?
So born and raised in Portland. My dad specifically is a serial entrepreneur. And my dream, kind of taking it all the way back, was to live in California and go to college in California. So after I graduated high school, moved to the Los Angeles area, didn't know a soul, went to college, had an amazing time. I went to Pepperdine University, go Waves, if any of my Waves people are listening. And I was working in LA, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am barely making it. I have a college degree, I have a little bit of student loan debt. This is for the birds, like this is not what I signed up for. So my dad, who is also a real estate investor, started buying properties in Dallas. 2004, 2005, where like you were getting amazing deals, right? So he said, well, you're obviously miserable in Los Angeles, so go check out Dallas. Let me know what you think, and if you like it, just move.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything tie me down. So that's how I made it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Courtney is also not telling you all everything.
What?
She graduated college in 3 years. She's a scholar.
With 2 degrees.
With 2 degrees.
And work 2 jobs every semester.
And work 2 jobs. Listen. Okay, y'all. Let me tell y'all. Engineering, it took me 5. I was like, I can't do it. Please, Lord, help me. But Courtney is a scholar, y'all. That means that anything she puts her mind to, she achieves it. So all I'm telling you is that we got somebody great on the podcast. Okay.
You're so sweet. But let me tell you this. I'm just a regular person. Anybody can do what I do, to be honest with you. And I think that's where walking in purpose, and we'll get to the faith part, of course, but that's going to be so huge. I'm nothing special, but anybody, if they put their mind to it, or if their parents say, hey, when you're 18, you're on your own, they can survive and thrive and make money and, you know, live life.
I agree.
Okay.
So you have a business.
Yes.
You know, you're an entrepreneur, and it's also a part of family umbrella businesses that you all have. So what services does King Realty provide, and how long have you all been in the family business?
So I'm so grateful. My experience in becoming an entrepreneur is a little bit unique because my family we're all in different types of businesses, but family-owned business. So King Realty has been around in Texas since 2010. But we had another property management company in Portland, Oregon before my entire family relocated. But so in Texas since 2010, and we're a full service real estate brokerage. So we help buyers buy property, we help the sellers sell properties, and a unique component of our business is all things real estate investment related. So we do full service property management. We help investors identify properties that are going to get them to their goal. We help them liquidate their properties if they're trying to free up some cash. And then we do everything in between in terms of the day-to-day property management, collecting rents, evicting people if we have to evict them, and advising our clients on how they can increase their income through different strategies, whether it be adding value to a property or trying to minimize your expenses. So that's kind of what we do. Okay,
so I noticed that you definitely started your business before 2008. So the housing crisis happened in 2008. What happened with your family? Like, how were you able to still be here 10 years later despite that crash?
That is a wonderful question. So at the time, my family and I were flipping houses in Portland. And my dad will be the first one to tell you he was breaking all kinds of rules when it comes to investing. Because at that time, it was 100% financing, stated income. These lenders were not verifying your assets. They were not verifying anything. And we as a family did become over leveraged. So if there's anything that we learned in that is there are certain principles of investing, and you can't violate those. If you violate them, there are going to be consequences. So we got hit hard. I mean, we lost some properties. Being transparent, my dad had to file for bankruptcy, which is tough. And it was interesting because it was a tough time. But when I tell you, God guided our entire family through how we were going to get through it and all of that good stuff. I honestly didn't know how bad it really got. Because, you know, my dad was receiving word from the Lord on how to maneuver it. And so then we came here in 2008, took some time to just kind of recover, regroup, analyze what we did wrong, learn from that, and then start over. So,
So one thing I wanted to have a teaching moment, because King Realty Management Incorporated, that's an Inc. A lot of us have been seeing LLCs, which is a limited liability company. What's the difference between incorporated and LLC? And, you know, because a lot of us in 2019, we're going to go out and we're going to be entrepreneurs and we're going to get these businesses. But we want to make sure we're filing properly, also legally. So what's the difference?
Really good question, and I actually talked to my dad a little bit about this when I took over the company last year. It's an LLC versus a corporation. Both are to establish, I guess, corporate protection, right? So liabilities that fall on you personally, right? He actually started King Realty as a corporation just because that's how we had it in Oregon.
Yeah.
Also, he did that because in the event that we went public and started selling shares and stuff like that, he wanted to have that flexibility with that particular entity. But some of our other businesses are limited liability companies.
Yes.
So that's just what we saw fit for us, and we just ran with it. And there's, like, without going too far into this, but LLCs or corporations can either be an S Corp or a C Corp.
Yeah.
So we are still, as a corporation, an S Corp, so it is a pass-through entity to me, personally. So number one, for any of your listeners that are going into business, is having some sort of corporate protection is important. But they are going to want to get some wisdom from somebody that's an expert in that to see what type of entity is going to be best for them, because it really varies based on the business.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And again, you guys, making sure that in 2019, when you're going out and starting your business, you talk to someone. It could be somebody that looks just like you. There are people that specialize in different things, of course. So right now, we got Courtney on the mic, and she specializes in real estate.
Love it.
So, Courtney,
yes,
you started off as an independent broker, and what was that like? And how did your dad give you the flexibility to just get started?
So it's interesting because here in Texas, you have to be a real estate agent first, an agent sponsored under a broker.
Okay.
So my dad, after he got his realtor's license, I think it was 2 years at the time, this was a while ago, he got his broker's license, and I worked under him as an agent, and he, or King Realty, was my broker, right?
Okay.
And so my situation is a little bit unique because I've never worked for anybody but family.
Yes, which is good. That's what we want.
Yeah. So at the time that I got my real estate license, he said, "Okay, you got licensed. Go run with it." And so he was there if I just needed a sounding board. Hey, in this situation, what would you do, or how would you handle this client?
Yeah.
But in terms of getting clients and building my pipeline of investors and sellers and buyers, that was all on me. So a lot of like Google AdWords I was already familiar with.
Okay.
And just building relationships.
Yes.
And just making sure people knew that, hey, I got my license, ready to go, I'm ready to help you. And that very first couple of years, I mean, I was grinding nonstop. So
tell us about that first property that you sold.
Oh yeah,
that's a big number. I can't let the listeners not know about that.
I like that. So within the first year, it actually was probably more like 7 or 8 months. I sold my first $800,000 property in South Lake, Texas, and it was a big blessing. And I give all the glory to God because I mean I was just fresh on the scene, and my clients didn't know that I had just got my license.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fake it till you make it. Yeah. But behind me, my dad was like, okay, Courtney, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Because when you get your real estate license, it's very book, like very on paper, this is what you do, but it's not practical. It's not dealing with the interaction with your clients and the interaction with other agents. It's like the best learning for that is going to be on the job experience and just kind of fumbling your way through it a little bit. But got that deal done, and it went pretty smooth. There were a couple of like minor challenges, but I was able to kind of overcome it with the help of my dad and some other friends that were realtors. So it was amazing, and that basically eliminated a lot of debt.
Okay, so question, how much did you buy the property for, and then how much did you sell it for?
Okay, so a couple of things.
Okay.
So this was my first big sale as the agent for the buyer, right? But let me take it back to 2009, where I actually bought my first investment property. Because those are two different things. So I got licensed as an agent in 2010. So this is before I got my license. Very brief backstory, I was actually a teacher.
Yes.
So I was teaching.
And on immigration, by the way, which is a hot topic.
Yeah.
As our government is shut down right now off of some immigration walls.
Exactly. So that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother day.
So anyway, I was teaching, and I was actually riding around with my dad, and he was showing one of his clients a bunch of different properties in Grand Prairie. So we are riding around. And we go into this property. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, foreclosed property, 2009. They were all over the place. And his buyer client was like nitpicking. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So, and it was $68,000. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So she was nitpicking it, and after the showing, we got in the car, and my dad was like, "Hey, Courtney, what do you think about buying this property?" And I am terrified. I'm like, "Wait, what? 68,000? Like, oh my God, you know?"
Yes.
And I was like, "Well, I'll think about it." He goes, "Well, if you don't buy this property, I'm buying it."
Ooh.
So, as he said, this is the ideal property, the ideal rental property. So I was like, well, you know what? Even though I'm fearful, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And just a sidebar: those that are still full-time employees and W-2'd and all of that, it is a lot easier to buy a property than somebody that's self-employed.
Okay.
So I mean, this was a cakewalk when I did that.
Yeah.
So bought it for $68,000. It only needed about $2,500 worth of work to rent it, right?
Okay.
So bought it, did the work on the property, rented it out for $1,250.
Wow. A month.
A month. My mortgage was $600 a month, including taxes and insurance.
Okay, so you were making double.
Thank you. So I held on to that property for 3 years.
Okay.
And I never really touched the money. I just let it stack because I didn't need to touch it, you know.
Yeah.
But I owned it for 3 years, and then one of my clients, who we managed a bunch of his investment properties, was like, "Hey, I really need to pick up a property."
Okay.
And I said, "Well, why don't you look at this property?" And it was my property.
Okay.
And so 3 years later, sold it for $100,000,
Okay.
and that eliminated all my student loan debt and put money in my pocket.
Hold on. Because it was 68.
Yeah.
And then you sold it for 100.
3 years later.
3 years later.
Don't forget the cash flow. I'm cash flowing $600 a month.
So money.
Yeah.
Cardi B, we need to tie in the Cardi B song Money right now. Okay. So first property deal.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yes. And so I really was able to see, okay, this is how you identify an investment property.
Yeah.
You know, because that particular buyer couldn't really see all the potential. And as an investor, that's the best deals are the ones that are distressed, those properties that need work. You know what I mean? Because my family owns a residential and commercial handyman service, we were able to do all the work to the property.
All in the family.
All in the family, exactly. So for those of you out there that may, let's say they're not homeowners now, but they want to buy a home, and they may not even want to live in the home, you could do something as simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's an asset that's going to produce cash to cover whatever liabilities that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
how does that tie back into the $800K? Because I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, so the $800,000 deal was me representing the client. I didn't buy the property.
Okay, you didn't buy the property, but
I
you
was
representing the
so
client.
that was 3% commission on $800,000. I think it was $830 to be honest with you, but
I still don't know. My math is fleeing from me. All the money we talked about on this podcast today.
It was a lot.
A lot. 3% on $800K.
Yeah, I was not a math major in college, so but you do more and more of those deals.
Oh yeah.
You start calculating it very quickly.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm hearing from our person on the camera is like another $25K just from that, right?
Yeah.
I think that was it. That's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just to sell something.
So really we could approach this from two ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If somebody in your audience, let's say they don't want to be a real estate agent because sales is not their strong suit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, they can become an investor and do something like that. You know, because my dad and I personally and for our clients have done deals like that $68,000 deal all day over the last 8 years. You know what I mean? And for those of you that have a sales background and really like that, and you have the interpersonal relationship skills and all of that, then maybe entertain getting your real estate license. Yeah.
I mean, you guys, today all I hear is money, so I can't go wrong with. Another thing I want to tell you guys on the podcast.
Yeah.
Courtney is now a part of the Wild by Faith family. if you send her a DM or email and you say the plug sent you,
I love it.
she will help you out. And it'll be from the plug relationship. And it wasn't hard. Like, I'm talking to her, y'all can reach out to her. Talk to her.
And when I tell you I can talk about real estate all day, every day,
yeah.
like, I love this.
Yes.
I love being able to show people this is the value we can add.
Yes.
And show people, no, you know, you're discouraged maybe in one area, you don't think you can buy something. No,
yes.
it is possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yes, please DM me.
Yeah, send her a message for me. Help. I need commission off of that message. Okay, somebody. So, what mistakes have you made while being in the real estate business? Because one thing I know, I learned from other people's mistakes. Mm-hmm. And just tell us, Courtney, what are some mistakes that you made, and of course, how you've overcome them as well.
So, I'm going to address this kind of two ways.
Yes.
Number one, we lightly covered the crash of 2008, right?
Yes.
And how we made mistakes as a family investing in property being over leveraged.
Yes.
Meaning you don't have enough equity in some of these properties,
yes.
right? And so you have more debt than you really should have.
Yes.
That was a big mistake, which we can kind of go in. That could be a whole nother podcast if
we
wanted it to be.
Courtney want 3. Y'all let us know in the comments. DM us if you want us to do about 3-4 once a month.
There
okay,
somebody. So quick. So, but I think one of the hardest things, especially starting out as a new agent, is we can talk all day about the commissions, right?
Yeah.
$25,000 commission
yeah.
just right out the gate, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it is a struggle when you first get started.
I agree.
You know, now my story was a little bit different in that I was still teaching
mm-hmm.
in 2010.
Yeah.
So I was a full-time teacher and did real estate on the side until 2012.
Okay.
Just because I'm like, okay, I have a check and it's going to take time for me to build up my pipeline.
Yes.
So I think one mistake that some people make is they think, oh, I'm going to get my real estate license, I'm going to make all this kind of money. No, it takes time to really start seeing the fruit of your labor. And I planted seeds in 2012 that just now sprouted in 2018.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get discouraged. And I felt like, oh my God, I'm doing all of this. Mm-hmm. You know, early on when I first got started, I'm going to this networking event, and you know, and I'm putting myself out on social media, and I'm doing all of this stuff, but I don't see anything of it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get discouraged. So I know your question was, what is the biggest mistake? Having unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
When you first start out as a real estate agent. And then just really persevering through, because there are some slow times. I mean, I wasn't doing $800,000 sales all year.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of what I really want to emphasize there, is just having realistic expectations. And he's a speaker and an author. His name is Bob Proctor. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
He has this quote that I actually use when I am presenting to prospective agents that want to join King Realty. Mm-hmm. And that is, there's a season for sowing and there's a season for reaping, and you can't do both in the same season.
Drop the mic, somebody.
So whether you're in real estate or you're trying to be an investor or you're in PR,
yeah,
there's a season for sowing and there's a season for reaping. And you can't do both at the same time. And so that, having that quote just personally kind of circulate in my mind from 2010 when I first started until now has kind of helped me see, okay, you're planting a seed. You know, and we know what the word says.
Yes.
Some plant, some water.
Yeah. But
the Father will bring the increase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just really having that in mind.
Yes. And Mike Todd had a message that you're planted, not buried.
Oh, I love that.
I love Mike Todd. If you want to be on the podcast, if you're listening, I would love for you to be on here.
That was a great series.
It was an awesome series, and I think it was perfect. Just having patience, right? And knowing, like, for me, start a podcast. People weren't listening to it the first day.
Yeah.
You going out and saying, I'm going to be a real estate investor, I'm going to be a broker. Mm-hmm. Like, you didn't buy your property on the first day that you started.
At all.
And as a testament to being an entrepreneur, just because you start your first day in 2019 doesn't mean you're going to have dramatic sales going towards, like, the first day you start.
Exactly.
You have to continue to sow.
Yep.
So.
It's a long game.
It is.
And it literally is a marathon.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. And I'm thinking to myself, have we covered enough of helping people understand the difference between full brokerage, then the property management and sales, and also the investment piece? Did we dive in there?
I think we have, but let me, I guess, bring a little bit more clarity. So King Realty is an independent brokerage, right?
Yeah.
And what that means is, if you had to compare it to something, is like the Keller Williams. Keller Williams is a huge worldwide brokerage.
Okay.
You've got Remax. We are not on that level.
Yes, but you will be.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. But we are just like them. We do those services. However, a lot of the big brokerages don't do property management, and really our focus as King Realty, our focus is investing and helping investors, helping people learn about investing, everything related to building passive income.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of those big brokers don't have property management services as part of their business because of the liability that is associated with property management. And so if somebody's like, well, what does King Realty do? That kind of breaks down like how we are related to other brokers.
Okay. So you guys, she told you what she does. Yes. She told you all what she does and what her business does. But one, I want to take just a step back because, we ladies.
Yes.
And we met at the For Visionaries Only conference.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, this conference brought me enough content for the whole 2019 year. So, one, what is some things that you picked up from the For Visionaries Only conference? And not only networking and just meeting other great women, because you look awesome, but just what did you learn? Because I'm always trying to put this For Visionaries Conference 2019. Jasmine, when you're ready, drop the date so I can get my conference ticket, because I'm going back in Atlanta. But what is something that you picked up from that conference?
So it's interesting because I heard about the conference from Tatum Tamia's podcast, Less Than Bossed Up.
Less Than Bossed Up, yes.
And so I said, you know what? This is going to be something different.
Yeah.
And to think and know and see other millennial entrepreneurs right in front of me, because sometimes it kind of gets lonely as an entrepreneur.
Oh, it does.
You know what I mean?
I'm in New York by myself. Lonely is the definition.
So I really wanted to just build some awesome connections.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely did that.
Yes.
And I just felt really, really empowered after the entire weekend. But in this season that I'm in right now, personally and in business, just really learning what it means and what it looks like to surrender my business to God. And that's really what my focus was.
Yeah.
Is, Lord, how can I surrender King Realty to you? What does it look like? What do you want me to do?
Yes.
And I felt like I got a little bit of clarity as to what that looks like.
Okay.
And literally kind of reinforcing, acknowledging Him in all our ways, and He will direct our steps.
Yes.
And not stressing on the little things when it's not perfect, you know. But I would say just the connections that we were able to build and just this confidence in my surrender.
Yeah.
That's really what I got from it.
Okay.
And I will be back next year.
Yes. And so for me, I got a mentor. Her name's Ebony. Shout out to you, Ebony, girl. You're living your best life. You're on every beach.
Hi, Ebony.
You look. Hi, Ebony. But what are some of the things that you look for in a mentor? And also, did you have a mentor coming in? Did you just take classes? A lot of your knowledge, did it just come from your family? Because I know for myself, I have several mentors that mentor me in other areas, but from a mentorship perspective, what have you seen that has worked and have kept you successful?
Yes, I think one thing that has helped me is that back in high school, I would work for my dad's businesses, whether I'm painting a house or whether I'm helping lease a property. And so I was able to glean a lot of experience and knowledge and a lot of stuff from those experiences back when I was a kid.
Okay.
And so, I talk about my dad a lot. I can't help it.
That's okay. We're gonna hit on daddy at the very end.
So he was like my mentor because he was a businessman. And I would always talk to him like, hey, how did you do that in business?
Yeah.
Why did you do it this way?
Yeah.
And he would explain to me why he did certain things and how he did it. And so I'm just kind of like soaking up everything from when I was little all the way up until now.
Yes.
Where I still call them, I'm like, hey, how should I deal with this employee? Like, what's the best approach, you know?
Yes.
So that was big growing up. And then that's like the business side, right?
Yeah.
But finding a good counselor for everything that's not business. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, going to counseling and seeking some older adults that have had a ton of life experience where I can just kind of bounce stuff off of them. Hey, what do you think about this? You know, maybe my approach or my reaction wasn't correct. How would you recommend that I approach it? So I think somebody that is mature and mature in their faith is so, because you can't just go to anybody.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean? So I felt like I trusted my dad because he had a proven track record.
It's 2 o'clock.
He had proven track record of giving me good advice.
Yes.
And then just seeking out other successful people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That I feel like I could pour into them and they could pour into me.
Yes.
I don't know if that kind of answers.
No, you did.
Okay.
You did. You answered it. And just having wise counsel again.
Oh, so important.
I think that people also want to know, like, when you had to fire someone, like, you're a business, you know, what is that like when you do have to cut the ties? And even, not for myself, what I've had to do with, but I'm sure in the future it could happen. But what is it like firing somebody? How do you know when it's time?
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. And I'll give you a funny example and then I'll answer the question. I knew I was supposed to let somebody go a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like, you don't want to be the mean person. You know, you have a heart as a boss, right?
Yes.
And so so I was like, okay, God. And I heard it. I heard her say, okay, Courtney, it's time to let her go. And I was like, oh, but it's Christmas time. It wasn't this year. It's Christmas time and she's got kids. I don't want to do that. And he was like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it for you. So she ended up quitting.
Wow. Which is great.
Yeah. Well, it's great because you don't have to pay unemployment.
Or just like, it's that hard, you know, emotional.
Exactly.
I'm sorry I let you go.
But one thing that I've learned about having to let an employee go, number one, is never fun. But if you approach it in a very respectful way, and just have open communication, I think the wise component of this is, as a business owner, it's very important that you have everything well documented.
Yes.
In a culture that wants to sue anybody and everybody, you've got to make sure your documentation is on point, have written warnings or some sort of procedure so you can document why you're going to end up firing them, you know?
Yes.
But it's never fun, and sometimes, you know, I've parted ways and it's been positive and they respected it. And then other times it hasn't been positive, but I can't control their reaction, but I can do it in as a loving way as possible.
Yes.
And it's business.
Yes.
And let me tell you this, as a business owner, it is very important that you establish the proper boundaries with your employees.
Yeah.
Because if you're telling them all of your personal life and stuff outside of the business, and they're doing the same to you, it just muddies the waters.
Yeah.
And I personally don't do that. I mean, I'm friendly and you know, and care and ask my employees like, hey, how was your weekend? What did you do? But at the same time, there is a boundary that I usually like to set. So
that makes sense. And you have to have boundaries for all parts of your life. My aunt Lisa actually gave me a book this year on boundaries, and it helped me to learn, like, there's just certain things that I don't need to do to people and people don't need to do for me.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got a line here.
Exactly.
We got a boundary. Okay.
It's so important.
So another question that came from our audience is, what is your preference? Rental properties, wholesaling, or flipping houses?
Ooh, that's good. I don't wholesale properties.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't make sense for me to do. Because I'm usually buying the properties. I don't really wholesale them to other people.
Yeah.
So that's number one. But buying an investment property or flipping homes, it depends on what my focus is at the time.
Okay.
So the long game is for the investment properties. So you buy this rental property, you rent it out, and you really see the appreciation over time. You see the cash flow over time and all of that good stuff. It's a long game. Flipping homes is great for building capital. And that's actually what my family and I are doing right now, specifically in the Houston market, is to generate cash fairly quickly. So we do both of those. And again, depending on what a person's goal is, they're both great options.
Okay, so listen, we getting it. So one thing that I love and aspire to have in my near future is to have a family-owned business. I want to pay my family to do things. I want them to live their best life, and I want them to make choices based on what they do with their time and bring their gifts and their talents to, and put it all under one umbrella, similar as your family.
Absolutely.
So what has been some of the ways that you're creating generational wealth and also teaching your siblings how to do that for themselves as well?
So I am so blessed because my family, we're so very different. Like we all have our strengths, and they're all very different. So my aunt and my stepmom both work for King Realty, and they're amazing, and I could not do what I do without them. My dad, he runs our handyman residential and commercial contracting business, so that's another component, kind of what he does. And I'm fortunate because I can't say that I came up with it, because it's just been something that has been in our family forever, because my dad just has been very conscious of, hey, if any of my kids want to come and work for the family business, they can, and we'll see where their strengths are and make room for them, you know? So I feel very, very fortunate. And then my younger siblings, I have an 11-year-old brother and a 13-year-old sister, and they are homeschooled, and they actually come into the office. And so when they're not doing their homeschool, then I have them do different things, like my sister Maddie will do spreadsheets for me, and just the time-consuming tasks that take up too much of my time, but I know that they can do it and they can knock it out real quick. So I love being able to be that big sister and pay them, because I pay them for the work that they do.
Awesome.
Exactly. So I pay them, but also show them that, hey, if you want to make money and you want opportunity, you just come holler at me. And we will figure out where you need to be.
I like that.
I love it. And it's funny because I reflect on when I was a little kid. Like I was in elementary school, and my dad would take me and my sister to different job sites. Wherever you saw him, you saw us, right? And so we're like standing outside painting a fence, and you know, so like we're just these little kids doing like contracting work, you know? And so I, as an adult, have come to so appreciate that time, and as a result, kind of want to put that, or give that opportunity to my siblings if they want that. And when I have kids, I will do the same with them. Take them to work with me, and you know, because I really think that there's so many benefits to that. So
I agree.
As we continue to build not only King Realty, but our other investment company, which is called King REI, and our residential contracting company called Unique Home Maintenance, we're all just continuing to build and grow so that any of my siblings can work it, and our kids, when we start having kids, can work it too. It's so important.
And you also talked about just building the kingdom.
Yes.
And I know you're so passionate about that. Just bring that on in there.
So I love this because the word says, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added to you, right? And you look at what Jesus preached. Jesus preached nothing but the kingdom. And before Jesus, it was John, right? And so the word also says, and you can type it in the show notes because I don't know exactly where in the word it says, but the kingdom of heaven is righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. And then there's another scripture that says the kingdom of heaven is inside you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we live in the United States, right? And so we've never really been exposed to kingdom and commonwealth and all of these philosophies, right? And shout out to Miles Monroe, who when he was alive, preached nothing but the kingdom. And so a lot of this stuff that I'm quoting is because of the books and stuff that I've read and videos that I've watched of him. But so you have the Father in heaven, and the kingdom is his. The whole kingdom is all of these people that are looking up to the Father saying, Father, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And the Father says, okay, I need you to do this, I need you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a family, we have been seeking the kingdom every morning for the last year. And what that looks like is us going to the Word, us dialoguing with the Father and praying and saying, okay, Lord, we surrender this day, because all we're worried about is today. So we surrender this day to you. Please direct our steps, show us where we need to go, and tune our ears to hear you and our eyes to see you, you know? So in all of this that we're doing with the businesses, because at the end of the day, it's not about the business.
Right. It's not.
And I just learned that like this year. It's not about the business, but it's about, Father, how do you want to use me?
Yes.
To spread your kingdom,
Yeah.
to bless or interact with whoever you want me to interact with.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, the King Realty is a means and a way that the Father sends us out to minister, to speak to connect with whoever he wants us to connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could go on and on about the kingdom.
I know you can. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know, when we have these goals and these dreams that come from God, like, he wants us to use it for his people.
Yeah.
Like.
But check this out.
Yeah.
This is what I've done. This is what my dad has done. And I know other entrepreneurs out there. So God gives us these dreams, right?
Yeah.
And we immediately go and do.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
Okay. Tell us about it.
How it works is, from my experience,
Yeah.
I'm not a guru or anything, but from my experience is, once we get that word from the Father, then we need to dialogue back to him and say, okay, Father, I have this dream. I know this came from you. I know you said this is what you want me to do. How do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Because God is big enough and his kingdom is big enough that he will instruct you on where to go.
Yeah.
But if you just go, once you have the dream, you're not getting instructions from the kingdom on how to do it. And then when you go without these instructions, you end up spinning your wheels.
Agreed.
Oh, I spun my wheels for a while. And in certain respects, I'm still spinning my wheels. And the Father's like, Courtney, when are you going to get it? I'm like, Lord, I'll get it soon. But no, it's consulting with the Father daily. God, what do you want me to do? So, and this is kind of random, but I'm going to share it because, you know, I'm
tell
open.
us. We want to know.
I got a word from the Lord, and this was the first year where I actually, like, heard something from the Lord. And I'm like, okay, this is different, right?
Yeah.
And the word was, Courtney, I want you to go to counseling.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And I literally out loud said, okay, Lord, I just heard you tell me that I need to go to counseling.
Yeah.
I've never gone to counseling. I don't know what this is. So if you want me to go to counseling, I need you to direct me to the right counselor, because I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I did a Google search right then. When I got the word, I did a Google search. I'm like, I wasn't really feeling anything, right?
Yeah.
Sat on it for 2 weeks. Somehow went to this website and found a counselor. And when I tell you the most just amazing experiences, healing, and again, being able to counsel with somebody that's older and wiser in their faith and age, you know?
Yeah.
So I think as an entrepreneur, just kind of tying it back is, yes, grab those dreams, right? Plant them in your heart, but don't forget to consult with the Father on how he wants you to execute. I don't know what this is, so if you want me to go to counseling, I need you to direct me to the right counselor, because I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I did a Google search right then. When I got the word, I did a Google search, and I'm like, I wasn't really feeling anything, right?
Yeah.
Sat on it for 2 weeks. Somehow went to this website and found a counselor. And when I tell you the most just amazing experiences and healing, and again, being able to counsel with somebody that's older and wiser in their faith and age, you know?
Yeah.
So I think as an entrepreneur, just kind of tying it back is, yes, grab those dreams, right? Plant them in your heart, but don't forget to consult with the Father on how he wants you to execute.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Whew. Y'all, listen, are y'all feeling like how I'm feeling? Every time I do a podcast, I feel like, I be like, man, I'm getting all this information. It's helping me right now. Share it with somebody. Send it to somebody.
Please
because they need to hear this information. So, I'm living in New York right now.
Yes.
And, you know, I have heard that millennials, they're not thinking about buying properties. What's the point? Rent forever.
Yes.
Why would you go and invest? You know, why are we starting to have that messaging
Yes.
around buying properties and, you know, getting a home? Why is that the new message, and what should we be doing?
Okay, so it's funny because on social media I'll see articles just like that.
Yeah.
Millennials aren't buying. And then like 2 weeks later I'll see another article that says the complete opposite. So
Yeah.
I don't know where this idea of don't buy a home came from. I know that, for example, Dave Ramsey, I don't really follow him, but I've
Yes.
heard that he talked something about that, about not buying a home or something like that. But long story short, for me, it's so important to be a homeowner. And it's not because I want to say, oh, I'm a homeowner. It's nothing like that. It's because if you think about it, if you're renting, and this is no knock on anybody renting.
Yeah.
Like, I say with all the love and the respect.
With love.
Yeah. But if you are renting, you are basically paying down the mortgage for whoever owns that property.
Yeah, you are.
So when you are paying that rent, part of that money, if assuming that the homeowner has a mortgage on the property, is building equity that homeowner has in that property. Just like the first house I bought. So I had a $600 a month mortgage, and the tenant's paying $1,200 or $1,250 a month. It's like, okay, so that tenant is giving me money, and that money is building equity that I have in that property.
Yeah.
Right? And some, because I still had the cash flow. You know,
Yeah.
$600 a month or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So for me, I like home ownership, even for millennials, because you're building that equity. And there's so many things that you can do, like lines of credit on your home once you get to a point where you have so much equity in your home. But I feel like you are empowered more as a homeowner. You don't have a landlord saying, no, you can't hang this up on the wall, and you can't do this, and you know, it's like, no, you could do whatever you want because it's your house. And one of the biggest misconceptions I feel among millennials is that, okay, you're signing this 30-year note, you know, this 30-year mortgage, and I'm signing my life away.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, no, you're not. Because I've bought a lot of properties personally.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You are committing to this 30-year note, right?
Yes.
And that can be daunting. But if you wanted to sell the property, sell it.
Yeah.
So if you lived in a property for 2 years and now you want to sell it.
Yeah.
And then you're not bound to the note. But there's, I don't know if there's something like psychological, it's hard for people to get that, but while you're renting, you're not receiving any of the benefits of owning that property. And let me talk about some of the benefits real quick. So you get to write off your mortgage insurance, if you have mortgage insurance, and your interest on your mortgage.
Okay.
So yeah, you have this mortgage in your name, yeah, you have this debt, well, you also have to get some additional tax deductions. So that reduces your taxable income,
Makes
you know?
sense.
And again, every state is different. You know, federal taxes obviously are going to be the same, but states have different rules. And like, for example, I owned a house for like a year and a half, and then was like, oh, you know what, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to move.
Yeah.
And I just sold it, made some money, and then moved on to the next thing. But the key is having the proper counsel, having the right real estate agent and real estate broker that's going to help you think forward.
Yeah.
So when I bought that home, I was anticipating, I wasn't going to stay there for 30 years, but I was thinking, okay, schools are good. Okay, they're developing this new grocery store within a half a mile. You know, you're looking at all of those things, at least I do with my clients, so that if you do decide to sell in the future, you've already considered and at these resale factors, and it will help you get to what your goal is at that time. Because my thing is this, if I'm helping you buy this property and you decide to sell it, I want you to come back to me.
Yeah.
And I want the sale to be easy, or as easy as possible. So I need to educate you and tell you, okay, you know what, there's train tracks behind there. Now you get to make the decision on if you're okay with that, but just know that if that train comes more frequently over time, or whatever the case may be, that may end up affecting who buys your property in the future.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That makes sense. And those are some things that we may not even look at.
Mm-hmm.
So, Courtney,
Yeah.
what's next for you?
Oh my gosh. So I'm in a really cool season, and I'm so thankful to the Lord because He's literally guiding my every move.
Yes.
I'm restructuring King Realty a bit, and we're not going to be doing as much property management as we once did.
Okay.
And I can't really go into all the details yet because the deal is not finalized, but I am going to be relocating to Houston. The end of January.
Okay.
So I'm super excited. I've never lived in Houston.
Okay.
And in Houston, what I plan on doing is opening up another branch of King Realty. So we were heavy in Houston years ago, and then when my dad handed the company to me, we scaled back Houston a lot because I kind of like the Dallas market more. But now we have some opportunities to re-enter the Houston market to really focus on investing. And so that's what we're going to be doing in 2019. And I'm super excited, and I have no idea what this is going to look like. And I'm a little scared, but we're walking by faith.
Yes, you are. And are you keeping the Dallas office
Yes,
as well?
yeah.
Okay.
Because I've got agents.
Money.
I still got agents here in Dallas. So for your listeners out there that want to invest or buy or sell in the Dallas market, I have a whole team of folks here in Dallas that work under King Realty. And then hopefully we'll be building that team in Houston, so I'm really excited.
Yes, and I have to put in a plug for Courtney because I went to Prairie View A&M. So many engineers out there, black men. A lot of black men out there. If you're listening, and I have an audience in Houston too. Y'all, Courtney's single. I preach the holistic woman because I believe we can have all things.
I agree.
We can get this money,
So funny.
and we can have our family. We have our man.
You're
know
like
what I'm
my
saying?
wingman.
Look, if I'm ever in Houston and y'all need to connect with Courtney, she's on Instagram, straight flexing, and I'm just putting it out there. And if the Walk by Faith podcast gives her husband, I may not have seen it coming, but
Well, I was going to say, if that
happen.
happens, you're going to be in the wedding.
Oh, let me tell you, I love a good wedding. I don't think I sometimes like, can I host a wedding? Because I'm so funny.
Oh, you're going to be the host.
What? Oh, I'm gonna be the host. I'm gonna be like, listen, y'all. Courtney Man came through the podcast. So again, Courtney, she's
So
a beautiful
funny.
spirit. She loves the Lord.
I appreciate it.
Just being around her, she's amazing. She's single. She's single. Single. Okay. Also, so we're just a small step back before we end the podcast.
Okay.
You talk about your dad a lot.
I do.
And it would not be right for me to just let the show end and we don't cover him and how he has been just like a huge impact on your life, as well as a big reason why you're moving back to Houston, parts to get her man, and two, just to be covered by your father.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about that daughter and dad kind of relationship that you guys have.
Yeah, I have a dad like him, and he's always been just so great at guiding me through challenges, college and business and all of these things. And so as part of me moving to Houston, it is kind of just to kind of resubmit myself. I don't even know how to describe it because I know some people would be like, wait, submit? What? No. No, it's like resubmit myself to be covered by my dad a little bit in the hopes that, as I explore dating and stuff in Houston, that I just have that covering and that support, not only from him, but my entire family. But it's just, I feel like he just gives me so much wisdom and guidance. And he's just awesome dad. I don't even know what else to say.
Shout out to dad. And I agree, like, without putting too much out there for the family, because y'all be listening, y'all be watching, y'all be following. But I do believe that your dad has a good sense of who you should date, who you should potentially marry. He should be there to kind of guide you. And for any ladies out there that may not have their father, having another man in your life as a mentor that you trust to say, hey, can you check out this guy for me? Because I'm not really sure I like him, but can you just check him out? Because a man knows a man. A woman that cannot tell you how a man gonna act. Let me repeat that. A woman cannot tell you how a man gonna act. So you really have to trust men, someone that you trust, to check out the guy that you're with. Yeah. So agreed. But
and I like that you put that because put it that way because there's a lot of people that don't have a father, and you're not at this huge deficit if you don't have a dad. But I'll tell you right now, my dad's the type of dad he'll adopt any daughter.
Oh, that's so nice.
So if anybody needs a little bit of dad support, I mean, I'm happy to offer my dad to you, even though he hasn't consented to that. But I'm sure he would be happy to do that. And I think it's kind of getting back to kind of the traditional a little bit.
Yes.
And because I've been on this, I'm independent. I'm gonna go buy my own house. I'm gonna do all of this stuff. And I think I'm like, wait a minute. Let me scale back because this is becoming a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So. And I'm a traditional woman. I'm from the South, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, so I agree with all the traditional ways of dating. Definitely the man gonna open the door. Yes. You know, he's supposed to meet your family. Exactly. You know, your family's supposed to agree with him. You know, I'm pretty sure there are tons of things. That I could go on. If y'all want a podcast on it, let me know on my traditional thoughts of dating.
I want you to do a podcast.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Because let me tell you this: being from the West Coast and not from the South, I'm not used to. I'm not used to opening doors and stuff like that.
Oh yes, they supposed to. Girl. When you go to Houston, your man needs to open the door. Like. If you don't open the door, you gotta throw him away. Throw him all the way away.
Are y'all listening?
Yes. But her man out there, because I have a sense that he's on the podcast listening to her. She talks about this real estate and her business and want a man. For real, if you don't open the door, we're gonna have to throw him away.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you want him to open the door for your daughter. You know, and just it's some respect. And you know, on the East Coast, there are no doors to really open because everybody's not driving. So you gotta have different rules for the location.
Yes.
But I guess on the West Coast, I'm not sure how the dating culture is out there. But girl, since you are just traveling 3 hours up the way, the door needs to be open. Okay, he's supposed to buy you some food, take you out, set the pretty plug, open that door. Okay, because that's almost like making your bed every morning.
Yeah.
Open it up. Open it. Oh, cannot tell nobody.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah. So Courtney, you already covered it, but our Bible scripture for today is Matthew 6:33, and it says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." I have definitely been a testament. When I seek after God and I say, "Lord, I want X, Y, and Z. Lord, please make it happen," or not even just asking Him, just more so just walking by faith daily in my journey and just saying, God, I'm submitting my life to you forever. Yeah. Like it's not just a little bit, it's going to be forever. And I believe that in the right timing, He will add everything to you in the capacity in which you can handle it. So do you agree with that Bible scripture?
Oh my goodness. That's one of my favorite scriptures ever.
Okay.
Because one thing that I learned this year, and I've got to say this to all the entrepreneurs out there.
Yes.
Is I always thought that this whole entrepreneurial journey and getting money and the grind is grind.
Yeah.
Right? So when I realized that it's not about the grind, it's not about killing yourself.
Right.
It's about seeking the kingdom daily, acknowledging Him in all of our ways so that He directs our steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it kind of like lowered the pressure a little bit. Where I'm like, okay, Father, this business is yours. This kingdom is yours.
Yes.
So you big enough, if you want to get things done, you're going to get it done. And I'm here.
Yeah.
Just instruct me.
I think you were talking about a 20-80 rule?
80-20, yep.
80-20.
So everybody knows it as the 80-20. There's a book that I read, I think I read it last year, called the Pareto Principle.
Okay.
Some people say Pareto, I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah. So 20% of our efforts produces 80% of our results. And when that finally clicked within me, I said, okay, God, my 20% is seeking your kingdom, reading your word, asking you what you want me to do. And that's my 20%, right? Daily. And then 80% is all these things being added to me.
Yes.
And so when I finally got that, I'm like, okay, I don't need to kill myself.
No.
I don't need to work from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually counterproductive. You are not going to get any closer to your goal if you do that. But if you seek the kingdom first, you know, and you ask God, how do you want this to be? What is this? And you're asking all these questions, and you're going into His Word. He will reveal it to you and guide you. And then you won't be spinning your wheels.
You won't.
Yeah.
But you got to seek Him first. Remember
Always.
that first step. You must seek Him first.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Courtney. This has been a great podcast. We got to do it in person, and you all are listening, whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or the other 11 different platforms that you can listen on. But Courtney, where can they find you? Because I'm thinking that an Instagram DM from your man is going to be coming.
I can't
what is your social media handles?
You're so funny. So I'm on Instagram at King Realty DFW.
Okay. But that's her personal account too for the men out there.
Yeah, I can't keep up with 2 accounts.
Okay.
So that's the best one. I'm the only one that checks it.
Yeah, so when you hop in the DM, she gonna be right
It's
there.
me. So at King Realty DFW on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
Although I'm not really on Twitter that much. I'm on Facebook a lot too.
Yes.
It's facebook.com/King Realty and Management. It's all spelled out.
Okay.
And they can message me there too if they want.
Yes. The DM. It go down in the DM.
You're so funny. I just appreciate you.
Yes, I mean, because sometimes as women, we don't not put yourself out there,
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Let's be real.
I mean, I ain't trying to just, say it, but like, I meet so many successful black women, and, men, they can't read on your forehead, I'm interested.
Exactly.
But also, the way we walk, the way we talk, it's not, are we inviting them? Are we walking around like, please don't touch me, dude? Like, I don't want you to open my door. Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
So it's more like, okay, hit her in the DM if you are a respectable young man that understands opening doors is important. So, again, we got to thank you, Courtney, for coming to the Walk by Faith show today. There's going to be an episode every Wednesday. And our main mission is to make sure that you, as the listeners, understand that you can achieve everything you want in life as long as you put God first and you continue to walk by faith. And this was a message from the Pretty Plug. So tune in next week for another episode. And we're out, guys.